Well, hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking all about how to raise the frequency, why it's important, and, even better yet, how to do it. So, are you ready? Let's talk. Well, hello, I'm Joy Willett, one of the Fab Five, and we are so excited to have this incredible panel of guests today. So, what I'm going to do is go around, ask you who you are and where you're beaming in from. So, let's start with you, Amanda.
Hi, everyone. So excited to be here. Love this topic. I'm Amanda Slade, and I'm in Laguna Beach, California. So, Southern California. Right by you, Joy.
Wonderful. Yay. Justin, where are you beaming in from?
Hello, everyone. I'm beaming in from Atlanta, Georgia.
Fabulous. And Jason, tell us who you are and where you're coming in from.
Jason Antalek coming in from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yay. And Angel Marie.
Greetings, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. And I'm beaming in from Phoenix, Arizona, where we're like at 80 degrees over here.
Wow.
What?
Bring that over here to Southern California, please.
Yeah, could you spread that around a little? Come on.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can tell we're already getting into some kinds of frequencies, aren't we?
Yes.
And I know that each of you have something really special to add to this flow of conversation. And, I'm going to start with one of you right now.
Hello, everyone. It's Justin Rice here. And the topic for today's conversation is raising the frequency. Why is raising the frequency so important? Because the world in which we live in is created by a collective network of observers. Your minds, your energy, your emotional state is creating your life. And in order for us to change the world as a collective, we each individually have to change our frequency. So how do we do that? By opening up our heart. By opening up our heart, breathing and putting our awareness inside of our heart allows us to open up our hearts and be grateful for the life that we get to live. And when we are in that state of mind and heart, we then can perceive new possibilities, think of solutions to the worldly problems that we have, and begin living in love and unity, and ultimately in community. So that is how we can raise our frequency, is by opening up our hearts, putting our awareness within it. I look forward to this conversation, and thank you for having me.
Wow, Jason, that is so amazing. I'm going to bring you up here now. And, watching you right now and listening to you, even though we're all kind of very red, there's a lot of energy right now in our room here, our green room, and with our audiences. But there's a certain calmness that you have. Tell me more about, or tell us all a little bit more about that.
Well, I think when we're connected to our heart, we tend to be a lot more peaceful in life. We tend to be a lot more present. And I think, I think we can all kind of chime in on this conversation here, but I think when we're present, we exude a calmness, because there's nowhere to be except for the moment, so that is something that we can practice, and we can begin to really work on becoming more of, is just present. And it's something that I think really is a key aspect to changing the world, because there's a lot of things kind of coming into our fields. We got news and political changes and all of that stuff. And when we're able to remain in the present moment, we tend to be present with those around us. And that's the key, I think, to building community, is presence with those that are around us, and being just with everybody in the present moment. So that's how I begin creating that calmness, but it's not always there. We got to practice it.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Anyone want to jump in on this with Justin? Oh, Angel. Okay. All right.
I will
So
jump in. Justin, I mean, you hit it right there. It's a practice. If you want to be good at tennis, go play tennis every day. And this is the same. Energy is energy. And I love how you put that in. There is a calmness. And there's a calmness when we have that field of vibration. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else have thoughts on this whole thing? Yeah, I had a feeling you did too, Amanda.
Totally agree. And thanks for opening that up, Justin, because I think, especially with so much energy flying around right now, we have to really choose what we're going to play in, what frequency, what energy fields we're going to play in. And you had mentioned about community, and it's important for us to surround ourselves with high vibe communities, high frequency communities, so that we stay in the vibration of love. And the way I define it is living only vibrant energy, or living one vibrant energy. And when you consciously choose that, then no matter what's going on around you or in the country or around the world, you can be that. And that's how we can facilitate change, is being that.
I love that. Oh, whoop, we have Jason. Hold on. Okay, Amanda, thank you. All right, Jason.
My friend Amanda, she's gonna say something cool because she always says some cool stuff. We're already friends and we've had lots of cool conversations too. So just feeding that energy for sure is always present for us, and an awareness in that. I love that you said about community, right, and who we surround ourselves with. I know somewhere along the way I figured out when I dumped a bunch of junk out of my bag, I'm carrying the bag along, and there's some rocks in here I don't need anymore, and some of that's emotional stuff. And that's another thing Amanda touched on, was recognizing what does belong to us, what doesn't, what I do need to process and what I don't. That's some of those rocks were mine, I'll be honest. But when we lighten the load a little bit, it makes it easier to float in a little bit different space, to have some more freedom and to flow into that expressive zone.
I really like that, Jason. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share someone else's, and then we're going to continue this conversation.
What raises your frequency? Not just meditation or stillness, movement. Creative expression. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to be a poet. You just have to create. Maybe throw some clay, throw some words on a page, maybe throw some spices into a pot. Expression isn't about being heard. It's about hearing yourself. Mozart composed alone. Van Gogh painted alone. The greatest breakthroughs are often born in silence and or solitude. As you don't express to be seen, you express to see yourself. That moment you create, you step into your own frequency, and that changes everything.
Wow. Yeah, we're all like,
that was fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous. And I love this tagging off of Justin coming from the heart. And now here you are, Jason, talking about what I'm hearing, and everyone else can jump in too. And I want to hear what you have to say about, it's almost like feeling your own frequency and honoring that by being yourself. I really, really like that. I am even going to say I really dig that. That is super cool, super fun, and so important, because if we're not being ourselves, what are we vibrating? What are we putting out there? And who's going to be able to see, hear, and feel us?
Trying to be something other than myself just makes me tired. It's just that's how it is, and some folks do well with still, and there's a lot under the surface a lot of times, right? Those are deep folks, and some folks are enthusiastic. Yeah, I'll admit to that puppy energy. Sometimes you got to be careful with it, because I get a little over enthusiastic. You're worried that the puppy's going to tinkle on somebody. But the truth is that it's just really how I show up. It's how I feel. And if I try to do something different than that, then I'm dousing out whatever is really me. And can I sit in stillness? Sure. I can do that at any space, but I'm a little more on that fidgety side. I like the movement. I think there's different ways to do it, and people get results in different ways, and they show up differently. So having more than one tool, more than one approach is a pretty good way to do things.
I really like that. And yes, be yourself. Everyone else is taken, right? Oscar Wilde. And also to the simplicity of being able to raise our frequency by, as you were saying, even art, writing, cooking. I like the little spices in the pot, helps to also raise our frequency and also share our magic, right? Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So who else wants it? Amanda. Yay.
Oh, I love that, Jason. That was so creative. But I totally agree with you. If you are in like a doldrum, or you feel like, you can't get going and so on, the best way to get out of that is, yes, stillness, meditation, you could do that. But even that, tapping into your creative life force is so key. And I know that anytime that I feel down about maybe what's going on in the world or whatever, I get back and I start writing again. I start, what am I here to do? And I start, going into my creative part of me, because as you all said, we're all unique, and we all came here with our own creative expression. So it's important for us to express that. So I love that you brought in that creativity part, Jason. I think it totally raises the frequency, because I know that, if I'm down and out, there's two questions I'll ask is, how can I grow in this moment? Or how can I be of help? What's a way that I can be of contribution? And that will always tap into my creative part.
I love that. Amanda, you're up here. I feel inspired to share what you had to say and have to say to all of us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Slade, and I love talking about raising your frequency. Why do we want to be in high frequency? Well, as we know, there's a lot of chaos and uncertainty and a lot of energy flying around right now. And it's so important for you to keep grounded, centered, and connected, so that you're not getting drawn into all of the fray of the energy that's flying around. So the way that you do that is you move into high frequency. You move from third dimensional fears, separation, competition, anything that's not cooperating with one another, into a high frequency of the fifth dimension, which is all based on love, joy, co-creation, collaboration, cooperation. And when you're doing that, and when you make a conscious choice in doing that, what happens is your frequency raises, and the more that you do that, the more you can maintain that frequency and sustain it. So we always have choice. So know that you have the choice to live in fear or to live in love. And to live in love means raising your frequency and create that diamond potential of who you are and radiate the light that you are out in the world.
Beautiful, beautiful, Amanda. And again, radiating the light that we each are. Again, we're tagging off of Jason, and then also from the heart energy that Justin was talking about, because our heart and love, and you're talking about moving from fear to love, can be that simple to raise our frequency. Or is it?
Well, it depends. Are you really tied in? A lot of people are tied into the suffering, the struggle, the pain, even the pain of their past, their traumas and so on. But if you're tied in or attached to your story, yeah, it's going to be difficult to move from the fear to the love because you're tied into that story. And you're attached to it, and maybe that's the way you want to live your life. But, you get to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? And and that in of itself gives you the doorway, if you will, to, I want to change my life. I need to move. I was severely codependent. I had major abandonment, rejection issues, all of that used to run me. And I don't have any of that runs me, because that was all based on fear. And it was all based on dysfunctional relationships and so on. So I've moved in, I made the choice to live differently.
Wonderful. Amen. And yeah, Justin, come on in. I was just going to say, we got to hear from Justin too. Hold on. I'm going to put you in the spotlight here. Yay. All right.
Wow. Well, Amanda, I love that. I love this conversation of the 3D versus the 5D, because it's such an important conversation for us to have for this world that we're creating now. Because for the listeners, when we enter, just so this applies to your life in some way, this is so important, because when we're living in the three-dimensional realm, when we're living from those lower three energy centers, we're living from fear, we're living from the animal self. It takes a lot of time for us to create our desires, whatever it is that you want to create. And I know a lot of the people that are listening now, I'm assuming that they want to change their lives in some way. They want to create some future. When we open up the heart, and as you so eloquently mentioned, going into the love frequencies, into the fifth dimension, we are now going into a place of no time. There is no time in the fifth dimension. There is no, you're connected to everything all at once, right? They're all timelines exist in the fifth dimension. So for the listeners, this applies to your life, because when we get into this state, we're able to create our thoughts so much quicker, and we're able to begin making changes in the world, in our lives, a lot more rapidly. And for all the listeners and for our panelists as well, we need you now more than ever. We need loving individuals who are operating from this frequency, because we know that there's a lot of third dimensional fear-based energies that are existing right now. And the few, the courageous, the light beings here per se, there doesn't need to be many of us for us to change this. And the more of us that are able to operate from this place of heart, we're able to change things in a dramatic way. So thank you for that, Amanda, because for the listeners, the fifth dimension is a quick way for us to begin creating our thoughts in reality.
Oh, now hold that thought, everybody. That was great. That was great. Thank you, Justin. I love it when you come in, and I love when everyone just comes in with their heart and their inspiration, because again, we are all shining our frequency all the time, right? We are always shining our frequency all the time. That's right, Tamara. Mic drop. Absolutely. And because we're talking about shining, I'm going to play our next guest beautiful video, because
nicely done.
Can I just comment before we go to that? Can I comment just for a second on that?
Yeah,
before we
absolutely,
go?
Absolutely.
I really want to connect to the viewers right now, because you might be thinking, this is 3D, 50. What does this all mean? It might be a little challenging for some of you viewers. So to clarify, to understand, is that we are in these different energy fields. And this is circuits. This is quantum physics. This is not a philosophy. This is quantum physics that tells us this energy. So I really want you, the viewers, to look into this energy of quantum physics and kind of dive in, because we don't have time to really go into what it really means, but to understand that you are in all of these places because we are in the field of energy, because our brains have neural nets, neural pathways, and they're bing, 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 and they have elements and minerals and crystals in our teeth and our bones. And that's what's creating this bing, 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 bing. So understanding that is you want to bing, right, everybody? We want to bing on a higher vibration. And how you do that is coming from the heart. So that's the writer downer. Feel how you feel and not think it through. When you're here, you're connecting on more neural nets, neural pathways. And I love you that much. And I'd love for you to do that. Thank you.
Well, we love you too, because we've got something to share with our audience from you.
Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Yes, that's my signature song, Shine On, and it's there to help you to raise your vibration. Why is it important? The more that you raise that vibrational field in your body, what happens is the nervous system can readjust. Also, the vagus nerve engages. Now, when this happens, you actually have more clarity. You have more focus. And the big one is you'll feel this gratitude that comes through. Now, this is one of the biggest questions that I get asked all the time is, how do you do this? And the thing is it's simple little things to do. One of them is just clapping, and it shifts your vibration. It shifts and lets go of any and all of the energies that are not your own. And first of all, we must do this first to remove, release. Very good, very good, very good. And then we're going to come back and we're just going to bring the energy in with some deep breaths. And yes, move your hands. You have chakras in your fingertips, and it feels so good when we move that energy of love and light and joy and energy of grateful gratitude. Beautiful. And bring it down. Thank you for allowing me to share. I love you so much. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, so Angel Marie, I thought I knew everything, but obviously I don't. I didn't know that we had chakras in our fingertips. That's so cute. I love that concept. I mean, powerful, but definitely cute. Yeah, steampunk pose saying energy fields. Yes, everything is. So let's do this. I'm going to bring you back into the fold here, and we're all going to do clapping around ourselves, because this is what different indigenous peoples, different groups, I mean, shaking rattles, singing, clapping in a church, all sorts of ways to shift and move energy. So let's do, everyone ready? Let's do some clapping. Just whatever feels good. I mean, even when you're, at a concert and you start clapping, doesn't that raise the frequency and the vibration?
So just make sure that you pick up your feet, because we get a lot of energy through Mother Earth and what's happening in humanity. So pick up your feet and move that vibration, move that energy.
Yay. And that's why little kids kind of jump around and move their feet. And yeah, it's really, really fun. Yeah.
Joy, we have feet chakras too, just so you know.
Yeah, we got feet chakras too. And that's the thing, is most people don't realize that we don't just have 6 chakras. We have 12 chakras actually. And actually we have over 8,000, if you Google it, chakras and meridians. And they're all with the minerals and the crystals, and they're binging, and they're constantly doing that. And I like that Jason talked about putting the spices in your food. Food is a big thing with vibration. It really is. And we forget about that energy, that everything is energy. And I would like to also say that the reality And viewers, the reality is not fixed. Your reality is not fixed. It is a field of vibration. And it's vibrating this energy, and it's waiting for your mind to program it.
Absolutely.
And Angel, you brought up the neuroplasticity. What I don't think what some people understand is if they have the continuous thoughts, like a fearful thought or a low vibrational thought, sadness, upset, anger, all of that, and they keep that as a continuous piece, that is creating your neural pathways, and it's creating what you will think, what you will believe, what you will feel. And the way to shift you energetically is to heal energetically, complete old energetic cycles, so that you create new neuroplasticity and new neural pathways, so that it's really easy for you to create and sustain in a fifth dimensional way, because you have high frequency thoughts and feelings and beliefs.
So everyone hold this beautiful energy right now, because we're going to do something here too. What? So for my wonderful, amazing guests, whenever I see these hearts coming up in the comments, you might have seen them too. That's our reminder to remember those who have passed on. And we have a Purple Hearts Club, especially one person in particular who was very much about purple hearts and a purple pen. And so this is our way also to remind all of our audience and all of us here as guests and here on the show that we aren't alone, right? Tamara says, forever remembered, and their energy and love is forever and eternal, isn't it? So, yeah, all right. So I'm going to play something. Oh, Jason, do you still have that thought?
Oh yeah. I'm still here.
All right. Well, let's bring you up into the speaker view here.
Amanda kicked the door open on doorways into things, right? Different ways, and we've kind of talked about that a little bit, about if there's a pathway that works for somebody. Maybe it's high energy, maybe it's stillness, maybe it's a combination. Those doorways are really great, and she was getting down into the details about the reoccurring thoughts. And just a little trick for folks, and I'll get this across as quick as I can. When you can identify one of those thoughts and you know what it is, you give it some kind of label, right? We're going to give it a name because our logic needs that. The way to start addressing it is to start implementing whatever the opposite of that is to us. If I'm having some kind of emotion that is a negative thing, that's an active way to shift that energy, is to what is the opposite of this? And the next time it comes up, work on implementing that. Just even thinking it already shifts what the pattern does. So you got a doorway in, and now you can go through and go a little deeper for yourselves.
Absolutely.
I'd like to add to that, because that was just wonderful, is also for you viewers to understand that's called the lenticular brain. And the lenticular brain function is a loop that you get on, is this loop in your head. And it is the past vibrational field. And to go in and create a neural pathway is what we're talking about. And that is a powerful when we do that. And it's not that hard. I know we might be talking about quantum fields and energies, and you're kind of new maybe, but you get this, that you can do this. And all of us you can reach out to would help you.
Yes.
I want to add another piece to that.
Sure.
So, and I think Justin touched on this as well. Just because if you are consciously choosing and you really are, operating, creating, living in the fifth dimension, while we're, in the third dimension, but it's all the same timeline. Living in the fifth dimension does not mean that you won't have challenges, right? Or problems won't occur.
Right.
But the way you get through them is a lot easier and a lot quicker because you have a different consciousness. You have a higher consciousness that really says, oh, this challenge is occurring or this problem is occurring. And I get to choose how I want to be in this. And what is the gift? What's the lesson that's coming for me through this problem or this challenge? And, we're living, especially here in the US, in a very dynamic, uncertain time. We get to choose how we're going to navigate the times. So going back to what Jason was saying is you can choose to reframe it. So doesn't mean, again, you won't have the challenge or the problem, and you may even dip down into fear and into upset and anger, but you get to choose then, wait, is this what I want to play as? Is this the energy field I want to play in, create within, manifest within? Because that's going to be a struggle. Or do I want to move into this higher frequency and play in this field? And yes, I'll go through this challenge, but now I'm not being dragged down by it.
I love that, Amanda. And yes, it's all about choice. And we are, no matter where we are, no matter what we're calling it, third, fourth, fifth dimension or beyond, we will have our challenges and our times. And it's how we, go ahead, Justin.
Well, I would love to piggyback off that because that is something that I mentioned in my video is the observer effect, right? That we are constantly observing reality into existence. And Angel mentioned that earlier, that reality is not fixed, that there are infinite possibilities in which we can live in. And it's so important for us to take the time to envision a new future, each of us individually, because we're living in a current reality that we're in. But if we want it to change, each of us individually have to begin observing that new reality into life and beginning to have faith that it's possible. It comes into mind the Bible verse, along the lines of like, whoever has a seed of faith can move a mountain, right? And it goes into that simple principle that anything that we put our mind to and we really believe with our full heart is a possible reality that we can create. Now, it's really only going to happen if we all individually begin to observe it. And the more of us that observe it into existence, the more likely it is and probable it is for it to collapse out of the quantum realm into the three-dimensional realm. So for the listeners, let's start thinking about a brighter future. Let's think about a future where we live in harmony, where we live in community, where we're living in unison with nature. Let's think about some type of heaven on earth, because the more that we can envision that and see it and believe it and begin taking the actions towards creating it in our lives, the more likely it's going to happen. And we need that. We need that. We don't need it, but let's make it happen, huh?
We sure do.
Yeah, Justin, that was great. It's all about be the light, shine your light.
That's beautiful.
And envision and put that emotion, right? The emotion, our mind puts out the thought, it's that magnetic. And then we also have the emotion, which is the power behind it to envision heaven on earth. So let's watch something really, really special by one of our amazing producers here. And this is going to touch all of our hearts, I have a feeling.
In the quiet moments, when the sun begins to rise, we find the strength within us. In the stories of our lives, not in gold or glory, but in hearts we've touched with grace, and the love we share with others in each kind and gentle face. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held and the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. Through the trials and the triumphs, in the battles that we fight, it's the courage and the kindness that will always shine so bright. In the lessons that we teach and the dreams that we inspire, in the way we lift each other higher and higher. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held and the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. In the final song you sung, and the curtains drawing near, it's the moments filled with love that will echo year to year. In the footprints on the path that guide the lost and blind, your legacy will live on in the hearts you've left behind. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held, in the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you've sparked in others, in the stories that are told. So let's live with open hearts and give with all our might, for the legacy we leave is a beacon in the night, in the echoes of our actions, in the whispers of the wind. Our legacy of love is where it all begins. Our legacy of love is where it all begins.
Your legacy will live on in the hearts you've left behind.
Ah, yes, absolutely.
Very powerful, very much so. Thank you, Skip. That was wonderful.
It is. And he's an incredible songwriter and poet and everything. He's and filmmaker. He's a true joy, speaking of frequencies. And yes, it just brings us back to that heart level too. And we are in a legacy series on the show, as well as I believe, and probably I'm assuming my beautiful, amazing colleagues here do too, that we're in a legacy series in our lives. This is a very, very important time for us to be here, isn't it? When we're talking about different dimensions and raising frequencies and neural network pathways, quantum physics, all of that. However, let's ground this out for our audiences too a little bit more, because some people might be going, I don't know, what are some of the ways for them to start their own legacy of love and raising their own frequency. And I know we've tossed this around a little bit, but let's toss it around some more before we're at the end of our amazing, beautiful show. Who would like to go first?
Well, I'll start it off. I'm going back to hear what Jason mentioned with movement, because I think this is a key component, because of raising our frequency is physical movement, because our emotional body, spiritual body, light body, it all gets grounded. To bring it back to you, Joy, grounding here, it all gets grounded in the third dimension through our physical body. And right now, and especially in America, we're witnessing obesity rates skyrocket. Our food is, not the healthiest. We can, that's a side conversation here, but it's really taking a toll on our physical bodies, and exercise and physical movement, sweating, getting hydration, eating properly. These are grounded practices, third dimensional practices that can help raise our frequency so that we can emit more light. And there's something that I heard recently about exercise, in that when we're contracting our muscles, our cells are beginning to emit more coherent light. And if we want to raise our frequency up, exercise, whether it's running or dancing or movement in any way, is helping shake some of that stuck energy in our bodies and allowing it to free itself so that we can begin emitting our frequencies. So that for the listeners, a simple thing to take home here, just begin practicing some movement. Move every day, get out, see some sunlight, and sweat. Most importantly, I love using the sauna. The sauna is so important to sweat out and allow the body to free itself. So move. Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. I come from half my side is lineage is Finn, so we know saunas very well. Yeah. Okay. So we've got movement. What else? What else are some of the ways?
Well, I'd like to piggyback on the movement, and really to understand that movement is lubricant. And when we're moving, we're lubricating everything. And most of the healthcare has come out and has said that we should not be sitting more than 25 minutes. And we need to be getting up. And remember that the dance of, maybe you're in a place where you can't move, you've just had surgery, something's going on. It doesn't matter. The movement of the guide of energy is the important part. And because there's so many portals of this energy, quantum levels of these portals that we're creating, that it's helpful to be in the movement. So if you ever watch me on anything, I'm always standing. And people say, Angel, you're always standing. How do you do that? For hours you will stand. It's because the more that I'm in chronic pain, the better it is to actually stand. Because then I can move the energy, I can move the frequency out. So I just wanted to give a little bit on that, and then our food. Great, but I'll let somebody else go ahead and go.
Thank you, Angel. Absolutely. And you are the movement queen. You really, just even watching your lives, you sprinkle joy and good vibrations everywhere. All right, Amanda, how about you? I'm feeling that there's something that,
Yeah, I'm going to take it to a different piece here, because I feel like it is about getting your consciousness really grounded. And what kind of consciousness do you want to be in? And so I have this thing, if I find myself complaining or being, snarky about something, I will immediately stop myself and go, wait, that's not the vibration I want to play in, the frequency. How can I take this and then create a commitment? And what's the commitment that I'm going to make in this? So what I'm doing that is I'm shifting my consciousness. And you're talking about movement and the body and all that. Remember, your cells have so much space for consciousness. So what kind of consciousness are you going to fill it with? So if I find myself in that piece, I'll use modalities or a way to connect myself and ground myself in light and in love. I will consciously choose that, so that I take that complaint and now I'm living the commitment in a higher consciousness, more expanded, unified, loving consciousness. And that's the piece that not only shifts us within ourselves, but then shifts those around us, shifts the environment. And Justin brought in the piece on this is how we create heaven on earth, first within ourselves, and then how we share it with others.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I have to do this.
Woo woo! She got the flames. She got the flames.
Because it's light, it's frequency, it's our emotions, it's the stillness and the movement. It's all of these things, isn't it? Because we are spiritual beings, right? Having a very physical experience, and we are at these crux points in our evolution here, right? That we're all here sharing and talking about and feeling. So, Jason, what say you? We've got a few minutes left to go around. I'm going to have you start first. What is the legacy? Because we're going to come back to this legacy thing here. What is the legacy that you want to leave? I mean, or that you want to sprinkle around, which you already are doing.
You brought up feelings. Why would you do that? Ooh. Legacy. I have a really different way of looking at legacy than I hear out in the world, except that our video today with it really touches on it in the way that I connect to is it's really about what we do while we're here. How we show up and how we meet the moment, how I showed up for the people in my life. And, that really to me is the legacy. I don't have control over any of the other stuff that's outside of me. So if I can meet the moment, and express myself and do it without creating any suffering or maybe clearing some up along the way, then, vibrations are vibration and frequency are always part of everything that we do. Right? Suffering's around, but the amount is negotiable. What we engage ourselves with actually is like, it's a choice. It's a stillness. It's a this, it's a that. It's exactly what you're saying, Joy. And weaving us together right today and the energy and keeping the flow going, that has its own aspects to it. Being able to drop in the cool videos. I mean, there's a flow and an energy and just kind of everything that we do. And the more we become aware of that and we participate in it, that's why I like the movement, because the energy is always moving. For me, when I express myself, I know I'm a lot closer to doing the things that make me who I am or representing who I am. Because expressing myself, even if it's not the best, I at least got it outside of me. Now that it's outside, I can look at it differently because I've been holding it in and now I express it. It's got to be on the table and I get a new perspective. That's an easy way to take a look at vibrations we don't really care for.
I love that. I love that. And I'm noticing, I just wanted to point out, I'm noticing that we're having some lags in the reception. And what I've noticed before is that when there's a lot of energy online, things will go like freeze up. And we've got very high frequency people here. So I'm just saying we're running a lot of energy. All right. Jason, thank you, Jason. Excuse me, Justin. I'm going to have you tag off of Jason here because he said something, and let's see what he said.
Can I real quick on just mine and Justin's behalf, because it's been happening the whole show, that our names are so close that we have been called each other our whole lives. People have been calling us each other forever. Right,
Yep.
Right. That's as soon as it happened, him and I are both giggling. I'm like, all right, so that kind of energy is exactly what we're talking about. So sorry, Justin, I wasn't trying to walk on it, but it's just a great example of how cool it is to just all be together and just let it be, man. It's all good.
It's all good.
I love that. I love that. And thanks for pointing that out too, Jason. Similar frequencies, right? There's no accidents, there's no quinky-dinks. Everything is always flowing. All right. So here's Justin. All right, Justin, what say you? We've got a few minutes left for everyone to just.
Yes. Yeah. Legacy, similar to Jason, like I want to ignite in people the realization that they are energy. Mm-hmm. Just that realization, I think, is so powerful for us to understand as human beings that we are not who we thought we were. We come into this earth and we think that we're this body. We think that we're our thoughts, we're this personality. And, my personal wake up has been through meditation and really connecting to the quantum field and recognizing, oh my gosh, I'm not who I thought I was. And many of the great teachers that have come onto this planet, they say that I am that I am, that I am that. I am the all in all, just encompassing a human body. And that's something that that is a part of my mission and vision here on this planet, is to help people realize that and have that experience, because the more of us that do that, the more that we are in control over our own energy, and we can begin making changes in the planet's energy. So that is my legacy here, is to help people go within so that they can realize that they are that energy that is within them and all around them. And that energy, to bring it back to Amanda, is love. It is all love, but it slows down in frequencies that are lower. But our goal here is to connect with that and be it embodied, so that we can spread it around the world.
Beautiful. I love that. That is so powerful. I'm going to enjoy listening to this show again. Guys, we have replay on here too for the audience, because there's so many beautiful wisdom nuggets here flowing from each of you, my guests, and as well as the audience's energy into this show. I've got just a few more minutes left, so thank you, Justin. And Angel, are you wanting to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. And, I so appreciate the viewers and everyone here today. And just to remind you, the legacy that you leave is how you feel and where you come from your heart. And that is the love. But it's also, love energy is 528. Most of us know that. But above that is that joy, and is that grateful gratitude, and is also about that peace and compassion. So more that we are in that peace and compassion for others, for humanity. That is the legacy that I leave. And the legacy that I really feel that I leave is that you are energy. Yes, we've said this, but yet that confidence that you have in knowing that it's your birthright to know to step into your royalty, that you are that beautiful and you're perfect. And that's the legacy that I leave, is with the grateful gratitude and peace and compassion. So thank you so much.
Love that. Somebody popped off here. I guess Justin will be joining us back again. So thank you, Angel Marie. Just beautiful, beautiful. And then Amanda, I think we've got time for you, dear.
Okay.
Just add in.
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
One of the things I discovered back in, I think it was 2002, once I left 20 years of corporate, my legacy is about helping people to heal the past, whether it's this lifetime, another lifetime, conditioning, programming, encodings, such as lineage or genetic. Heal the past to enliven the spirit and to raise and empower the consciousness of your true self, which is love. At the core, our core energetics, our divine blueprint is love. And so I do that in multitude of ways. And I have a specific piece that I am leaving as a legacy, but the core legacy is that, helping people to heal, transform, and evolve into the all that they are.
Oh, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? There's so many different ways to shift, to change, to grow, to express ourselves, our frequency of who we are. And so there's so many different, just like recipes to make something beautiful, right? We all have our recipe. And so everyone out there in the audience, experiment with what works for you. As you can hear, our wonderful guests have their own ways of raising their frequencies and their brilliances, and each of you do too. And we're trying to see if Justin is going to come back in. Hopefully he will. But however, we are getting close to the time when, let's see, he's still trying to, but we're getting close to the time.
Joy, can you
Yes.
speak to your legacy?
To my legacy. Well, I will, but let's have Justin come back in here. Hi, Justin.
Hello.
There he is. So, Justin, in 30 seconds, well, you already did your legacy, right?
Right.
You did your legacy, and thank you for coming back in, because we're going to have to go. Amanda, that's a sweet question. My legacy, just on the spot here, is that each person will know how special they are and how much they are truly needed on this planet right now, just the way you are, how you are loved. I sound like Mr. Rogers, but you are so loved. You are so amazing. And we just, all of us just know we're all here together to make this a better world. Reach out and connect with those, and just know that we're on our way. We are truly on our way, especially with my wonderful guests here together to help shine the light. So with that, till next week, and we just all love you and adore you, all of you in the audience. And so we're going to say adieu.